Welcome to the Tennessee Achieves Virtual Community Service webinar. These webinars are designed to provide you, Tennessee Promise students, with an opportunity to learn more about college success tips, careers in your potential field of study, and other topics we think you will find interesting while you are navigating your educational journey. These webinars will also help you complete your community service requirement while it may be difficult for you to do so at this time. A few housekeeping details before we get started. By logging in as a Tennessee Achieve student, we are able to track your attendance and how long you remain actively engaged during the webinar. Once you complete the webinar, you will automatically be given credit for 1 hour of community service. We will track how long you watch, and if you do not watch the webinar in its entirety, you will not receive credit. You do not need to complete the community service form for these webinars. Tennessee Achieves will log your hours for you. Tennessee Achieve staff and partners across the state are providing important insight and information we think you will find entertaining and informative. We hope you enjoy this new series of webinars. Welcome to the Tennessee Achieves Virtual Community Service webinar. I'm Graham Thomas at Tennessee Achieves, and today we have a really exciting panel about why students should consider the opportunity of going to one of our Tennessee Colleges of Applied Technology. We have 3 TCAT presidents here. We have Mike Whitehead, who's the president at TCAT Pulaski, Yolanda Jones, who is the president at 3 of our TCATs in Covington, Ripley, and New Bern, and Cliff Whiteman, who is the president of TCAT Crossville. I want to thank our panelists so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, we are excited today to take a little bit deeper dive into all the opportunities that exist at TCAT and reasons why students should consider coming to your institutions. You know, I tell people all the time, unfortunately, I think TCATs may be our best kept secret in Tennessee higher ed, which is a real shame because there are a ton of wonderful opportunities. You guys have great outcomes getting students prepared for the workforce. But before we dive into all the great things happening at TCAT, just to give our students a little background about you guys, our panelists, we'll start in West Tennessee and work our way east. So Yolanda, we'll start with you. If you'll just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you went to college, maybe more than one college, degrees that you've earned, and a little bit about your career.
Yes, I'm Yolanda Jones, and I am so happy to be the president for the Tennessee College of Applied Technology in West Tennessee, serving the areas of Covington, Ripley, and New Bern, and the surrounding counties. I actually went to college at the University of Memphis. I received my bachelor's business administration degree in business management. In my younger years, I went on to get my master's also from the University of Memphis. And I'm now pursuing my doctoral degree in leadership and policy studies. And I hope to be a soon graduate in the summer trimester. I love what I do. Higher education is my passion. I do agree with you that the Tennessee Colleges of Applied Technology are truly a diamond. We are the premier provider for technical education in this wonderful state of Tennessee, and we look to serve every student in the state that is looking to get educated in any technical field. And I'm sure my colleagues that are on the conference call today in this webinar will be willing to share the amazing contributions our students have within our community.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks so much for sharing a little bit about yourself. Mike, what about you? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure, Graham. Again, thank you for allowing us to be a part of this. We're excited to be a part of it. I am from Lewisburg, Marshall County. That's where I live, but I'm currently serving as president at TCAT Pulaski. Been here since 2015. Became president last year in April. I attended Tennessee Tech University, receiving my Bachelor of Science degree in math. Then just 2017, I received my Master of Education in Instructional Leadership from Tennessee State University. My background, I spent 13 years working in manufacturing industries in Marshall and Bedford counties, and then made a major change in 2006. I decided to go into teaching. Participated in Governor Bredeson's Teach Tennessee program in the summer of 2006, entered the classroom, high school classroom that summer, or that fall, taught secondary math in Marshall County for 9 years. And then in the summer of 2015, had the opportunity to transition to post-secondary administration here at TCAT Pulaski. I loved teaching and still love working in education. So I still have the opportunity now to work with adults as they strive to gain training in specific skill sets, but I also still have the opportunity to work with the area high schools and helping to establish pathways for those students who want to come to a TCAT to gain their training. So looking forward to continuing in education for the rest of my working career. So again, thank you for letting us be a part of this today.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. Thanks so much for being here. Cliff, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, mine's a little different. After graduating high school, during high school, I was a dual enrolled student here at then we were called the State Area Vocational School in Crossville. When I graduated high school, I came back, finished the full-time program in the machine tool program, and then went to work. So I spent a great many years, about 17 years in industry, working as a machinist and engineering technician. I did the whole continuing ed thing the whole time while I was working at nights. That's why it took me so long to accomplish anything. But through perseverance, I did get a couple of associate's degrees from Roan State Community College here local. I got a bachelor's from Tennessee Tech, and then I got an MBA from Bethel University. I've done some little bit of postgrad. I did a community college leadership program with ETSU, and then started in their doctoral program as well, which, I just keep plugging away at that. But the bulk of my career has been spent in the industry. I've got far more years at that than anything I've ever done. I do miss industry. I always say it's kind of an accomplishment to what I learned here. I've only had 4 jobs my entire life. And all 4, this is the 4th, and all the other 3 were machine tool related. So that kind of validates the training that I received as a student here many years ago. I always stayed in contact with the school throughout the years, even after I graduated. I was on advisory committees and with the machine tool program. Was later on the general advisory committee for the school. Helped with placing a lot of students. This school has been a big part of my life, since way back in the 80s. And I consider my position here the crowning achievement of my career. I could never do any better than where I'm at now. I love what I do. I love what we do. I love the impact that we do. I love the short amount of time that we can turn things around for people, the industry contact that we can maintain, the ability and the flexibility to adapt and change and write curriculums just for specified industries. I just enjoy every aspect of it. So it's been a great ride with our system. Sure has.
Great, Cliff. Thanks so much for sharing a little bit about that. Mike, why don't we start with you next? We'll hop to Middle Tennessee, and we'll just keep taking turns with who goes first here.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about your TCAT specifically in Pulaski. What programs do you offer, and what opportunities are available for students?
Well, at Pulaski, we have a total of 16 different programs. 11 of those programs reside here on our main campus, and then we have 5 programs at instructional service centers in Lawrence County and Murray County, specifically in Spring Hill. On the main campus here in Pulaski, we have advanced manufacturing, administrative office technology, computer operating systems and network technology, electrical and plumbing construction technology, HVACR, industrial electricity, industrial maintenance technology, patient care technology and medical assisting, pharmacy technology, practical nursing, and welding technology. So you can see we've got quite a diverse offering. We've got what we would call the industrial classes, and then we've got a lot of allied health offerings as well as computer science related. So we think we appeal to a lot of different students. At our industrial service centers in Lawrence County, we have a very unique relationship over there. Those students, we are in all 3 of their high schools with a post-secondary instructor, and those students that are Lawrence County graduates have the option, with administrative approval, to come back and participate as adults or finish the program as adults in those high school settings in our programs. And in those schools, we have welding, residential wiring and plumbing, building construction, and then, of course, up in Spring Hill at the Northfield complex, we have CNC machining program. So quite a diverse offering for students to that are interested in coming here.
Yeah, Mike, thank you for sharing that. Cliff, what about you? What do you guys offer at TCAT Crossville? What opportunities are available for students there?
Well, here on the main campus, we have 19 different programs. The campus is one of the older TCATs. We originally started with 4 programs, and it didn't change a lot through the years. But later on, we started diversifying some of the things, as Mike was mentioning. That's a huge thing. I think that's the goal of every TCAT, is to be able to offer more for every student. Here on the main campus, we've got, of course, the old standbys, welding, industrial maintenance, machine tool, the diesel repair. We have a power sports program, which is working with like any kind of powered tool or any kind of recreational equipment. Allied health is big for us. We're in a real high retirement area here, so practical nursing and surge tech do very, very well up here. We also have CIT, which is one of our better programs. Always has an extremely high enrollment, always full. We have HVAC with refrigeration component with it, commercial refrigeration. We have building construction, which is big in this area as well. Like I said, with a lot of the retirement. Cosmetology is huge. That's one of our larger programs as far as head count goes. We also have the administrative office technology and recreation, hospitality, and tourism. Now, those programs are something that we've seen become a mainstay, and that's actually since the campus has been started. We have graduates from those programs that are in, every office, every administrative position, legal, you name it, anywhere across our service area. We're trying to diversify even more. We're sort of looking at offering some things that might appeal to let's say a more different crowd than the traditional old career technical education, and just to make opportunities for everybody. So we are fixing to expand into masonry. We taught masonry here for many years and had to shut it down for various reasons, but we're going to bring it back, and fixing to reintroduce plumbing. Is another option as an exit point in our building construction program. So, yeah, we just got a lot of things going on and just constantly trying to think about what else we can do to better serve the public and also better serve industry.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of options there in Crossville. Yolanda, you got a big service area there covering a lot of rural Tennessee. What type of opportunities are available for students at those TCATs?
Oh, yes, we have a lot of opportunities for the areas that we serve. We try to offer programs that are in need or high demand to meet our service area needs. So I'll start out with TCAT Ripley. It is a small rural area, and in that area, we offer computer information technology, cosmetology. We started a brand new emergency medical technology program in our area that is doing very well. We also offer health information management technology, industrial electricity, manufacturing technology, patient care technology, and medical assisting and practical nursing. Those 8 programs are conducive to the area, and I think as we continue to grow and modify, we change those programs as needed. But all of those programs are doing well and meeting the need of that specific area. Moving on to TCAT New Bern, currently we offer 12 different programs, those being automotive technology, computer-aided design technology, computer information technology, cosmetology, diesel-powered equipment technology, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and refrigeration, industrial maintenance and mechatronics. We also offer an injection molding robotics program, along with machine tool technology, practical nursing, truck driving, and welding. Those are all programs that we feel like are in high demand and that are currently meeting our industry needs. And last but not least, we have our TCAT Covington programs. There we offer 11 programs, and again, administrative office technology is one of those programs, along with automotive technology, computer information technology, dental assisting. We've just incorporated a brand new program that will be starting in the fall, looking at our ag community, which is called our digital agronomy program. We also have heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and refrigeration, industrial maintenance, which is a program that is also in very high demand, along with machine tool technology, pharmacy technology, practical nursing, and welding. And again, we try our best to not duplicate as many programs as possible so we can have a variety of programs within the expansion of our coverage area, and we can get our offerings to as many of our adult learners along with our dual enrollment students. Most of these programs are dual enrollment accessible, where we actually have students that come on campus, or we offer the programs within the existing high schools. We do have an extended campus in Crockett County from TCAT Ripley that we also serve that area. So we look to continue to expand, evolve, and offer as many programs to meet the needs of our industries and our business partners.
Yes, ma'am. I think one of my favorite things about the TCATs is that while a lot of the programming and the offerings are similar across the state, they're also very unique programs based on what the industry demands are of your region. Cliff, you guys sit right on the I-40 corridor, which I know is a huge advantage for business and industry and for jobs. Let's talk about outcomes. What are students that are graduating from TCAT Crossville, what are they going to do? Like, what kind of jobs are they finding? How much money are they making? What kind of advantage do you have being located where you are?
Well, obviously, Interstate 40 is a big, big deal for us. You know, there's a lot of industry here in Crossville that would not be here if it wasn't for the rental access to Interstate 40. A lot of the plants have logistics programs that are built in that we're replicating here and teaching along with them. So, you know, as far as the job scope in this area, I would say this, with us being very centrally located in between Chattanooga to the south, Knoxville to the east, and then, of course, Nashville to the west, it puts us in a prime location to draw feeder industry for those larger areas. Obviously, with the Highway 127 corridor, Highway 111 corridor, and being so close to the Interstate 75 split here along 40, it does put us in a unique position for industry. So what we see a lot of, obviously outside of the allied health, as I mentioned with the retirement, we're starting to see a lot more of, and this will become redundant throughout the whole conversation, I'm sure, things, you know, are tending to become more automated. That's the name of the game anymore. And I think even things like with what we're going through right now with this corona virus, a lot of industry, I feel like from my years in that, I know a lot of industry are probably sitting up and taking note to, well, this is one reason that we need to go automated. So we see a lot more of that now. Even in our commercial truck driving program on the logistics side of that, how to plan routes and things, those are all in huge demand. Industrial maintenance is big here. CIT, which is kind of, and it's kind of ironic how it's turned into computer information technology, has sort of become the root of a lot of the programming and downloads that we see going on with some of these logistics and these run-it-rate programs that are going on in industry. So it all sort of ties together. And we're pretty blessed to be in this little corridor here to have those options. If they're not right in Crossville, they're definitely within, you know, an hour's drive for sure. And so it's getting to where I'm very optimistic. I think we're getting a lot more industry is looking at Crossville and the entire Upper Cumberlands as a means to set up shop. And because of you know, transportation now is a lot easier than it used to be back, you know, many years ago when you had to rely so much on rail and things. But I think 40 is crucial to us. The expansion of the industrial parks and the different things that's going along, not only in Cumberland County, but to the north of us and our friends in Fentress, the south in Bledsoe, and all around us. It's just opening more and more opportunities for the students. But there again, most of those students, like I said, they're turning into the more high skilled, more you know, less hands on in some senses with like the computer related side of it. But you also still got to have the hands-on side to do the manufacturing, the actual building of the component, even though in the end game, it's going to eliminate people from the old traditional production line. So there's a lot of opportunity over here. Tennessee just itself. I mean, my gosh, Tennessee has got such a phenomenal group that markets this state and done so well over the years, and is going to continue to do well. You know, I see Tennessee slowly. There used to be the joke about Alabama slowly becoming the new Detroit with all the automakers that went to that part of the country. You know, I see Tennessee falling right in that, and that's obviously just going to open more and more opportunities for students, and I just hope they all take advantage of it.
Yes, sir. Mike, I'm going to kind of go to you next. Much like TCAT Crossville, TCAT Pulaski is not too terribly far away from the I-65 corridor. So what advantages does that bring to your region? And also, you are located in a pretty rural location there, right next to the Alabama border. So where are your students finding jobs? What kind of opportunities are available for them once they graduate? Any kind of idea into maybe salary ranges?
Yeah, very similar to what Cliff said. With us being just 10 to 15 minutes from I-65, it is considered this section of Middle Tennessee is you'll hear referred to many times as the automotive corridor. So we've got a lot of industries and businesses in this area that are suppliers to the automotive industry, and so we see a lot of our students, a lot of injection molding and process technician opportunities available for our students, and a lot of welding. We've seen a tremendous growth in welding opportunities in the last year or so, and a lot of that is automotive related. We so much demand actually that we had just put in a request to start 3 instructional service centers for welding evening programs at high schools in the surrounding county, in Lawrence, Lincoln, and Marshall County. That we expect to continue to see growth. Of course, we are just, as you said, Graham, we're very close to Alabama. Most of our students stay in the southern Middle Tennessee area, but they do cross over into Alabama. We have several students that come from Alabama for training here. Of course, with the new Mazda Toyota plant locating in Alabama, we're going to be less than an hour from that. We expect that there will be a lot of our students from our industrial maintenance program, our advanced manufacturing with robotics and PLCs, industrial electricity, even our CNC machining program and our computer operating systems program. We expect those graduates to be filling a lot of those jobs. Many of our students, when they walk out of here, they're going to be anywhere starting from $15 to $25 an hour, and then easily within the first 5 years, they can be pulling in $50,000 to $60,000 a year. So just great opportunities, and as Cliff said, one of the things that's great about a TCAT is one, we're tuition free, and we're local, and a lot of these folks don't want to make that drive for education and for training. And so they'll come here and they can get in and out relatively quick. Most of our programs are 12 to 20 months in length. And we, as you mentioned, we have some great outcomes. We have great job placement rates. Most all of our TCATs, even though our benchmark for our accreditation is 70% placement, most of us are running 90+% placement. So it's just an exciting opportunity for students.
Yes, sir. Thank you for sharing that information there. Yolanda, what about you? The 3 TCATs that you represent are maybe a little bit even more rural than Crossville and Pulaski. So what type of opportunities are available for students? Where are they finding work? What kind of money are they making? Yolanda, are you still with us?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was on mute.
No
sorry.
problem.
I was just talking away. But we are in rural West Tennessee. So unlike my colleagues that have interstates very close, I have a Highway 51 that is traveled by many. I am actually surrounded by Shelby County. There's our Jackson area. So our students come from the metropolitan areas a lot of times, but they come to the rural areas just for the individualized programs that we offer. I will say probably one of our highest programs are in demand are our industrial maintenance programs. Those students that are graduating from that particular program, they are starting at around anywhere from $23 to $25 an hour. We have 100% placement in those areas, along with our welding programs and our HVAC and machine tool programs. I would say our probably second highest programs in demand are our healthcare related programs, which include our practical nursing, our dental, our patient care technology, medical assisting programs, which generally run almost 100% placement in those areas because of the demand in those fields. Truck driving is another short-term program with amazing high salary bases upon completion. There is, as we all know, we need truck drivers like never before. So I would agree with Mike and Cliff both stating that the programs we offer create enormous potential for our students in entry-level positions that can quickly turn into some high-paying positions once some more once they get in the field, they get a little bit more experience. This is an excellent opportunity for those students to start and create a career for themselves, making wonderful salaries.
I want to touch a little bit on something that Mike mentioned, and any of you that would like to jump in here, please feel free. But Mike, you talked about being local and knowing the employers where your students are going to work. Why is that so important? What is the benefit of that for students?
Well, our instructors have great relationships with all of the area industry partners, and that's very important. One, because for placement after students finish the program, but also during the program, our students have the opportunities to go out and participate in internships, which may last from 2 to 4 weeks, or co-op assignments, which could last for an entire trimester. And so it's absolutely critical that we have those relationships locally with all of our partners, because that's what they are. They are truly partners. They're partners in the job placement aspect, but they're also partners in helping us to evaluate what the needs are in this community, in this region. All of those folks, our partners participate in our advisory committees and our institutional advisory committee, and we depend on their feedback. They help to drive what we're doing and the type of training that we are offering. So it's just absolutely critical that we have those local relationships and partnerships.
Yeah, and I'll agree with Mike on that as well. I'm sure that you could call any president at any TCAT, and they'll let you know that those local contacts, those are everything. I didn't mention it in my work history, but I was an instructor here. I taught machine tool technology here for several years before I ever made the move to come up front. And it was always common. You keep such a good contact with all your business relations as an instructor that in many times a student, they're placed well before they're even finished the program. And being the way that our programs or students are evaluated, in some cases we'll do this exactly like Mike said. We may put a student on a full co-op program their last trimester with a given industry partner and say, here you go. Here's one that we think is going to work out for you based on the work you do and things of that nature, and let's let them try them out. And oftentimes, that's the fit. So, like I said, many times the students, they're already placed, ready to go. If well before they've ever even graduated. So it's crucial. We have contacts now in our area, probably, even from, nearly one end of the state to the other, to be honest with you, as well with the trade unions and different things. And so when we get to talking to students about what they want to end up at, obviously we want them to go for the best, but not everybody is willing to take those extra steps. So if they want to be in a shop that's, say, local, We can hook them up with that. If they want to go to a shop that's out of town somewhere or does a little traveling, we can usually fix them up with that too. So, I mean, it's just a great opportunity. Now, obviously, we can't guarantee the placement. I don't think that we'd be a fool to ever say we could. But, I agree with what Mike said earlier about the placement. As a system, we do a very, very good job with that. And those industry relations, that's a key part of it.
And I would also say I definitely agree. I think what we offer in our TCATs, that hands-on experience, those co-op experience, set us apart from our other institutions where students actually are prepared for the job, not just theory, but they actually can go in, they can do the critical thinking, they can do the hands-on, they're able to actually go to work and be a key player as an employee with all the skills and knowledge that they need to do a great job.
Yes, ma'am.
Graham, I'll add.
Go ahead, Mike. No, go
I'll
ahead.
add to that. I think our system, the way we're set up, sets our students up for success. It gives them confidence, and it just is a great recipe for success for not only the student but for those employers.
Well, I think that's a really good point. I want to ask you guys next something that Cliff mentioned earlier, and again, any of you feel free to jump in. But Cliff, you talked a little bit about automation. I think that for a lack of a better word, maybe the factory jobs of old are gone. They're not what they used to be.
Absolutely.
These companies nowadays are using machines and computers that are really, really expensive, and you don't just walk in off the street and they don't just let you use them because they're far too expensive for something like that. So what do jobs in the industry look like in the future? And we do hear a lot about automation. What does that mean for students that are interested in these careers?
I'll be honest with you, Graham. I think the future, it's already here, and it always has been. I know that's kind of an obscure way to say that, but in my time in industry, we were always being innovative and looking forward and trying to see what's going to work next. What are we doing now that we can improve on? And it's kind of cool how that ties into what we do here at the schools. At the same time, the industries are recognizing that. They're passing that on to, say, like the instructors that have them on advisory committees and things. So definitely, that is changing. In my time in industry, we would work, we would get, say, for instance, an assembly line up and running. And then after that, if it's, say, I don't know, I'll just say if it had 10 people on it, the goal after that was, okay, we're producing product. Well, now how can we eliminate the people? I know that sounds cruel, but that is just the way the world we live in. And it's always been that way. Ever since assembly lines have began, somebody has always looked at a way to eliminate that person. And that's not a disrespect to any kind of humanist behavior or anything. That's just the nature of things. You eliminate variables. You eliminate people, absences for various things. And that's just the way industry's progressed. Now, what is so cool about that is that with us in our system, the TCAT system, we already have access to those pieces of equipment and those trainers. And if industry, say local to us, we're in a huge tile manufacturing area here, ceramic and porcelain tile. Those people are already understanding that if they're going to fill their needs for their workforce, they have to include us in on the fold. So it's not uncommon at all for a TCAT to have an exact same replica of an assembly line or a training piece that's currently in the industry, in high-tech industries. Our students are training on that while at the same time the curriculums can constantly be adjusting for what's to come next. So, that's why I always said the future is now, and it's just a progression of building on it. And I think that's what's so great about us. One of the biggest assets in the system, and this is not that I was a former instructor, are the instructors. The instructors are the people who have been in those environments. They know exactly what industry is thinking. They know the whole mindset. They know all those little key elements that students are going to need to be successful in building, programming, and maintaining those pieces of equipment that for most parts become fully automated and singular on their own. But you still have to have some person. Obviously, automation hasn't gotten to the point to where it builds itself and thinks for itself. If it ever does that, we better run for the hills. But, you still need someone that has a specified talent for programming or even analyzing data to look and see as well, is it this much better? Can we improve on? And that's just what makes us so great. We already have those people here. We have those instructors with those industry ties, and it's always been that way. And I think it's just always just going to continue to improve on itself. That's one of the greatest assets of a TCAT as we strive toward this fully automated age.
And Cliff, I would add to that, because you are a task instructor, I think also what makes us so great is our instructor base, because they come directly from the industry. They know exactly what's needed, what type of training, and our programs are only as good as our instructors are. So
Absolutely.
I think they add the added value to what we do, and they know exactly and work with the industries to make sure the outcomes are so great. So I think a lot of what we do, we put in the hands of our instructors, who not only are their instructors, they're their mentors, they're their teachers, they're their industry connections. They play such big roles in what we do, and they come directly from the field. So I do kudos to Cliff, because not only is he a president, he's a past instructor that can also give that extra added advantage, I believe.
Thank you, Lonnie.
Yeah,
I agree as well.
We had Dan Caldwell with Nissan on our in-demand careers webinar, and he was talking about at Nissan, and they hire a lot of TCAT students directly out of TCAT at Nissan. But he's talking about now there are systems in place that they know exactly when a machine is going to break down or when a robot is going to stop working. And you guys are helping students build skills like that as well, right?
Absolutely. That's a huge part. Like I mentioned, one of the larger industries up in this area that manufactures the ceramic and porcelain tiles, actually two industries, they have those systems that are integrated within them that tail fail mode, so they can actually see when something is going wrong, because the machine, the calculations going on in the computer as part of the automated components of it, is actually seeing that something is about to happen. So yeah, we've incorporated all that in our industrial maintenance teaching. So, and it's just all part of that little cool connection between the TCATs and the industry. I love it. I love going out in the industry. I love seeing the changes. I love sitting in the advisory committee meetings, and we do lots of field trips with students. We have lots of demos where some of the industries come here or either host events at their places, and it's just a great thing. Students, it's one of the biggest resources. You said it at the front. It's like we're a hidden gem. We've always known how good we were. All of us have. Even back in my days when I was a high school student here, we always knew what an asset we were. So things like Tennessee Achieves, that's just the crowning point for open those barriers and get everybody in these schools and let them see what things are really about. But it's awesome.
Mike, I'll go over to you next. As students are preparing for their college careers, and we've got students that are graduating here pretty soon, what does the job market look like in the next 5 to 10 years for students that are interested in going to a TCAT, and what can they be doing now to prepare?
Well, obviously the state of Tennessee is extremely focused on technical education. Of course, Governor Haslam was a tremendous supporter, and then Governor Bill Lee is also a tremendous supporter of technical education. And so we're getting that support from state leadership, and the funding that comes with that support is crucial to our schools and our operation. We're able to replace equipment that's needed to be replaced, purchase new equipment, and so I think it's just a great time. Every group I speak to of high school students or adults that come to our facility, I tell them it's just a great time for technical education in Tennessee, and the opportunities with the increased automation that we're seeing in all of these industries and businesses. It's just a tremendous time to be in technical education in Tennessee. So I think those opportunities, we're not sure, we know that this pandemic is going to affect us a little bit, and there's probably some concern there. But I think one of the things you're seeing as well with that is a lot of the programs that we offer they're considered essential skills.
Absolutely.
And so when other folks are being furloughed, possibly right now, a lot of our folks are out there working on the front lines with our allied health programs, and even our HVAC, and a lot of those are just considered essential right now. So I think we're going to see that be a very important thing to remember going forward.
Yolanda, what about you? What are you seeing in the workforce trends here in the next few years?
I do think we'll continue to evolve. I do believe that we are preparing students now for jobs that are not even created yet, but we're giving them the foundations and the skills that they can advance into. I think it's important to always look forward, to share with our students that this is only the beginning and that they will continue to be lifelong learners, whether in all of the skills trades, you continue to get better and you continue to get more seasoned. So I think especially in rural West Tennessee, we are looking to grow our own. Our industries are constantly looking for employees that they can hire with certain skills. So we want them to be able to stay here instead of move away. So I think TCATs offer that that extra skill set that will allow us to continue to train our students so they will be employable, and industries will start looking at West Tennessee as a viable choice for new industry to actually enter into.
Yes, ma'am. I like that growing our own piece. I think that's really important. Cliff, what about you? What do you see in the workforce here in the coming years?
I still see, just like we were mentioning before, it's going to get to where, if the work will be there if somebody is willing to do the work to get there. I've always, like I said, I always said that forever. You have to apply yourself first. That's what makes it so awesome about things like the Tennessee Promise, Tennessee Reconnect, is giving somebody that ability. Those days of saying, well, I didn't have money to go to school on, those days are gone. And I just think that's such an exciting time to be able to take advantage of things like that. But, it's out there if a person wants to take advantage of it. I'm sure there's always going to be a spot for an unskilled laborer, an unskilled production person, and there's not a thing in the world wrong with that if somebody chooses that to be their avenue. The thing that gets me is that those closed sales, those barriers, those are gone now. The opportunity is out there for anybody to take advantage of. So, the one day that a person wakes up and decides that their life is not going the way they thought it should be, and that education is a way to change that, industry will be more than willing to adapt to them if they'll just put in the time to get there.
Well, I appreciate all three of you guys hopping on today, and Cliff, I think that was really good advice there at the end. There's going to be work if people are willing to show up and do it, right? And something that we've heard a lot about on our other webinars is that you can go and you can get all the skills you need. You can learn the content that you need to learn, or the skills, whatever it might be, depending on where you're going to college. But you still got to show up. You got to have a good attitude. Those are all things that be on time. Those are all things that we all can control outside of all the other things. So we appreciate you guys talking about all the different opportunities and great things happening at the TCAT. We end all these webinars with 3 questions for all of our panelists. I'm going to tie the first 2 questions kind of into one 2-part question. Mike, we'll start with you. What is something that you know now that you did not know when you were in college that you wish you knew? And what is your one biggest piece of advice for students?
Well, I wish when I was in college, I wish that I had opportunities for internships and co-ops like our students do today, and that would have given me a more insight into what was out there. And so I appreciate those opportunities that exist now for our students. And as far as the piece of advice, never stop learning. You're never too old to learn something new, and our students need to continue to exercise and challenge their brains often. We have students that are, the beauty of a TCAT is we have a lot of high school students that come to us straight out of high school, but we also have a lot of what I would call a lifelong learner. And some of these folks they're coming here just because they want to learn something new. Last year we had a retired state trooper coming to learn phlebotomy. because he wanted to be a phlebotomist, not because he needed to work, but just because he wanted to learn a new skill. Currently, we've got several students that are 50 plus years old who are here just because they're wanting to learn something new. So don't be afraid to continue learning the rest of your life.
I think that's really good advice. Yolanda, what about you?
I would say that the advice that I would give from when I left college, that one thing that I didn't know was how important experience was. Not only after I left, I was told before I went to college that once I got that degree, my life would probably be set. But unfortunately, when I came back to rural West Tennessee, I could not find a job, but it was because I did not have that experience that I needed. I had the paper, but I didn't have experience. So what I would share would be get some experience. One thing that TCATs offer is that opportunity for you to get that hands-on experience through co-ops, through working along with going to school, taking your trade to that next level for promotion. Get that experience. And I think that sets you apart from someone that just has that piece of paper that says you can learn. I would also add that for me, being the best at what you do really, really makes a difference. That skill set alone, but going that extra mile to have those skills that are not just taught, but are passionate, like showing up for work, being on time, being the first to be there, being the last to leave, those things get you noticed. So it's things that will set you apart that when you apply for a job, you rise to the top where you're just not doing the minimal, but you're giving it the best that you have to give. So being the best would be one of the things that I would add.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice. Always strive. If you're going to do it to the best of your ability, right? Cliff, what about you? Something that you wish you knew when you were in college and advice for students?
Well, like we said, my college career was a little unorthodox. I was, still doing a lot of traveling all over the world, building automated equipment things. So I sort of already knew what I had to do to be successful in college, and that was just the due diligence and just get it done. So I've got a little different approach on that. As far as advice, that's a big one for me, and sometimes I feel like I might get a little blunt when I talk about that, especially with students in our rural areas. My big thing is to eliminate the naysayers. We see that far too often that students come here and they're listening to people who have never achieved anything in their life, and they're probably never going to achieve anything. So with things like the Tennessee Promise, especially the things that are breaking down the barriers, that would be my big piece of advice, is just separate yourself from all those people that are the naysayers and all the negativity, because, chances are once you go through a TCAT and some of the programs and you get out and you get a good job, you're probably never going to run into that person again in your life. So I tend to tell people not to feed into any of that stuff. And then, once you finish, go out and just, have a good time. Be proud of what you know. Be proud of the trade that you've learned. It'll take you anywhere in the world. And at the same time, just have a good time with it, and just remember and reflect back on that you did not feed into that negativity, and that you pulled yourself out of a rut that someone else was trying to drag you into. So that's sort of my advice on it.
Yes, sir. I think that's great advice. So we end all the webinars with one final question, and Yolanda, we'll start with you this time. It's very clear that you all love what you do. Being presidents of TCAT, it's clear that you're all very passionate about it and that there's a ton of great opportunities for students. But if you weren't the president at a TCAT, and you could do anything in the world, and money didn't matter and time didn't matter, maybe talent or ability didn't matter, but you could do anything. Yolanda, what would you be doing if you weren't a TCAT president?
If I were not a TCAT president, I think I would be a motivational speaker. I just love to speak life. And I think if given the opportunity, if the sky was the limit, I would love to travel and speak life.
Great. Cliff, what about you?
You know, I always enjoyed making parts. I'll have to say that, you know, if I lost,
I loved it.
there was always just a sort of a peace and calm. The duality of things that can go right and things that can go wrong when you're manufacturing equipment. So heck, I'd probably just end up back as a machinist. I mean, I made great money at it. I got to see a lot of cool things, met a lot of cool people. So I'd say that's what I would do, is just go back to manufacturing and machining.
Cliff, I'd heard a rumor that you had maybe a bit of an affinity for like 80s hair band metal groups. Thought maybe you were
no,
like that.
Not the hair band. I was a little more different than that. I bet you've been talking to Ben. I guarantee that. So I guess if I was going to say I was going to do one other thing, I'd been a roadie for Slayer. That's my other one.
There you go. That's a good one. All right, Mike, finish us strong. What about you? What would you be doing if you weren't a TCAT president?
Oh, no pressure, right? Finish strong. All right. One regret I have is I wish I had gotten into education much sooner, because you're right. I do love what I do. I love teaching, and I love helping students achieve their training and education goals. So I wish I had done that sooner. But if I had anything, I love helping people. And so some things that come to mind, probably something in the healthcare field, either a pharmacist or a doctor. And then strangely, let me add this in there, and this goes along with helping people as well. I'd love to work at a funeral home and speak at funerals, because I thoroughly enjoy doing that. I've done 20-something plus funerals, and I just enjoy providing comfort for folks in their time of need.
Yes, sir. Well, that certainly is an honorable thing to do. And we appreciate all of you being here today. There is no doubt that you're all very passionate about working with students, about your jobs at the TCAT, and that they're just a plethora of opportunities for students to go to TCAT, get those necessary skills to find a job. And we appreciate you guys all providing that insight today. And hopefully our students have a better idea of all the things that are available at TCAT. So we appreciate you all being here today.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for the invite.
And for our audience today, hold on just one more minute. You're going to get some information to make sure that this counts towards your community service opportunity, but we appreciate you tuning in. Hope you took some valuable information away about TCAT's job opportunities that are available, and we appreciate you tuning in today. Hope that you will listen to some more of our webinar series at www.tnachieves.org. Thanks so much for being here, and we hope you have a great day. Thank you for watching this installment of the Tennessee Achieves Virtual Community Service webinar. Your attendance will be automatically recorded, and your 1 hour of community service is being credited to you. Please click Submit on this screen to ensure that your attendance is recorded for you. For this community service opportunity, you will not need to complete the community service form. We hope you found this opportunity to be engaging and informative. Please watch more of the series by visiting www.tnachieves.org. We hope you have a great day. Thank you.